Hey, what's up, guys? It's Justin again, and this time I'll be bringing you guys a special treat. We got Improving Your Game Episode 3 with the lovely, none other than most famous YouTube superstar, the MediocreMadame. So thank you for joining us on this podcast.
Well, it's totally good, but we gotta roll this along because I got another event to go to in like 5 minutes.
So she got a really busy schedule. She got to do like 8 other podcasts with some other famous guys, but she took time out of her busy schedule to come visit our channel. So we're going to talk about a few things. We got a few topics for you guys, and at the end she's going to give you guys an update on her channel and kind of tell you what's been going on with that. So I think the games that I'm going to be using are they're Modern Warfare 2 games, but I think they're just filler games. Like, they're okay games that I got. And so we're doing this separately. So if you're watching it, just enjoy the game, enjoy the commentary, and we're going to talk about improving your game. So if you haven't been paying attention, we have a series called Improving Your Game, where it's going to help the guys kind of improve their game. And we're not talking about Call of Duty or video games. We're talking about their game with the ladies. Okay, not necessarily trying to do any tricks or anything. Just kind of help them do a little bit better in that department, and maybe talking or maybe trying to attract a certain type of women. So today, or this episode, is going to be really good because we're going to actually have a female perspective. And if you guys have watched the MediocreMadame's videos, then you guys know that she's funny. She's got a separate sense of humor. And she's pretty much got a lot of dudes on her right now, right?
No, dude, I don't have a lot of dudes on me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, but she's got a really good commentary, so she'll go over that. But we'll start off with the first topic. Actually, you know what? Do you need? I was gonna say introduce yourself, but you need no introduction. Do you want to say anything?
No, not really.
All right, you should just know who she is, because if you don't,
if you don't, then you're not on the level
right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you even listening?
So we'll go with our first topic. So I was talking with the MediocreMadame, and I wanted to know from her perspective as a guy, and this is in real life, okay? I guess it could work online too, but mostly in real life. What are things that a male can do that would leave a good impression upon you?
Like, are we talking about like if I'm out at like the bank or something?
Yeah, other than dropping 10 G's down.
I mean, because I do that all day long, so I don't know. Are we talking about in public in general, or like we're already on a date?
Let's go with both. Let's go let's say you're at the bank, you're at the coffee shop, you're at the bookstore, right?
And so you frequent all three of those places.
You frequent all three of those places. So there you go. That's another topic right there, guys. If you need to go to the bank, go to the coffee shop, go to the bookstore, and
you gotta have money for all three of those.
But you gotta be depositing like $18,000 at a time to get anybody's attention.
I won't even look in your direction.
So we'll go with that. We'll go with not on the date first, like without kind of knowing the person. Then we'll talk about good impression on the date. So go. Okay.
So as far as like first impressions go, it's super important because I mean, it's not even male specific. If I'm just like, we're all human, so we're all constantly looking for, some kind of interaction or social behavior. So there are obviously always going to be things where you're like, I don't want to talk to that person. aside from like general asshattery, like there are like specific things that if you did them, I would just not want to talk to you ever.
We'll talk about that in the next one.
Yeah. Well, as far as like if I was out in a public place and going about my business, a lot of people are like, oh, if you see a cute girl, cute guy, whatever, you walk right up to him and you introduce yourself. Honestly, I think the way that things are right now, and this is just specifically for me, but like if some dude came up to me when I was at the bank and was just like, hey, what's up? My name is, Giant Weirdo. How are you today? I'd be like, I'm good.
What if his name was Just In Case 04 though?
Well, I mean, we'd already know each other.
You would have saw me in the parking lot and been like, that's Just In Case 04. Okay.
I mean, I would just start screaming, and I would take out the pre-made collage sign that I made.
We believe.
Yeah, believe in your Deems, yeah. Okay, so Deems is an inside joke, by the way. I didn't just mispronounce dreams.
Deems.
That's one of two that I'm allowed. Apparently, there's an inside joke allowance. So, anyways, a lot of people are like, oh, chivalry is dead. Well, I don't really believe that. I think it's up to everyone to...
That's a Dave Chappelle thing. Chivalry's dead. And you ladies killed it.
It's like, some people, anyone's going to react differently to anything. It's not like I can sit here and generalize for all women, because that's not the case. But I'm relatively sure that the majority of women enjoy having the door held open for them. Or, just witnessing general acts of human decency. And to kind of run it in with things that are attractive on a first date, one of the biggest gauges for me in my relationships is if you're nice to wait staff. So, because I've worked in a restaurant
really
before.
Yeah,
and I've worked in retail since I was 16. So, I've definitely been in customer service positions. And honestly, like just in general, I think people should have to work at least one retail job or customer service job in their life so they can understand what it's like. But if you're nice to a waiter, if you go out of your way to say please and thank you, I mean, I guess it kind of boils down to just a general issue of having manners, and the fact that that's something that I need to bring up as
so
something
uncommon,
that's attractive. That it's really kind of disheartening because you don't really see good manners that often. So, and it's not, don't misconstrue me into saying that I'm talking about leaving, a large tip or whatever. Like, I think you should tip, but that's not what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is, are you saying please? Are you saying thank you? Are you being, cool with the waiter? You're not, even if something was wrong, you're nice about it. Like, there's no reason to be.
Yeah, he didn't cook your food, so.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I mean, an unspoken rule for me is I'm never going to be mad at somebody or treat somebody like shit that's preparing my food.
Yeah, you don't want to, that's the big no-no right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess general, manners in general and, opening the door or, I've read in, the stupid-ass women's magazines, they talk about, like holding people's gazes or like looking them in the eye from like across the room. And it's like, when I catch somebody looking at me, I feel really awkward.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand why you're looking at me. But I mean, this doesn't, obviously doesn't apply across all situations, but I guess manners in general.
Yeah, it's another thing when you said retail and serving, okay, because you can kind of tell that people that have never served.
Absolutely, it's completely obvious.
Yeah, because usually when you tip, people don't like the tip, or people that never worked in food service don't like the tip, and those that did work in food service like tip because they know. So when you guys see like, just because somebody's being rude to like wait staff or retail staff doesn't mean you have to be a jackass to them. Okay, it's actually really obnoxious when I see it, because I worked in retail for a really long time, and you have that customer that no matter what, they're just going to be rude to you, and everybody's watching them. They're just like, you're not. It doesn't look good. You should just stop doing whatever you're doing. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's just treating people the right way. If somebody, and everyone has full license to treat somebody the way that they're being treated by that person. Like if I got an asshole waiter, not only would I leave, but I mean, I would give them, a piece of my mind before I left. I'm not going to sit there and take rude service, but there's a difference between that and somebody who is, genuinely trying to help you. And yeah, it's a job, and they probably don't give a shit, but I just think it's important.
All right, so we'll move on, because that was kind of a lengthy answer. We got a bunch of topics ready, but we'll move on right to the deal breaker, and you kind of talked about it already. So what is something that would be a deal breaker for you if you saw, maybe you're on a date and somebody just did something, you're like, okay, no.
Can I? What's the policy on cuss words on this channel?
Do whatever you want.
All right, well, you can bleep it out later if I can't say
okay.
it. There's a specific example that I thought of just now, and it's just people exhibiting really odd behavior. Like, I went to Panda Express sometime last year, and I was walking.
Sometime last year.
I was walking by this guy, and he's. I didn't think he was gonna say anything, but as he's walking past me, he just goes, "Man, I love pussy, money, and weed."
In that order.
In that order. And I kind of cocked my head, and I'm looking at him like, what the fuck did you just say?
And some orange chicken. Throw some orange chicken on that bitch already.
Oh my god, that sounds so good now. But why would you do that? Are you socially, stunted? Why would you say something like that out loud, and especially in front of a female? Like,
because no manners, like you said before.
Exactly, no manners. And, I think, you're right. I did basically just talk about it. Is that a deal breaker is that you don't have manners? Because I think everybody needs them in any situation.
Yeah.
Right. I shortened that answer. Now you know.
Because I got the pressure on you right now. Okay.
Now you don't even know what to do. Next question,
please. We had good impression, so we got some deal breakers. So good impression was have good manners. Deal breaker are pretty obvious, like bad manners, right? So we'll talk about some other things. So we're going to talk about attractive qualities now. It can be either physical, not necessarily just physical, but obviously, if you've been listening to the Mediocre Madam, probably being a nice guy, a chivalrous guy. Chivalry's not dead. That's probably another attractive quality. But why don't you go into more detail about attractive qualities that you would find in a male?
I think clean clothes are really important, and I think you touched on that in one of the previous podcasts. Like,
yes, you were giving us some crap about our podcast too.
Oh yeah, because we'll get into that. But
okay.
You definitely needed a woman's input.
We did.
So, as far as clothing goes, I'm never on the lookout for. I mean, obviously I have a boyfriend, so I'm not on the lookout at all. Mm-hmm. But when I was, I guess, quote unquote, on the prowl or whatever, like if I'm not attached to anybody,
you're looking for first blood.
Yeah, exactly, first blood. That if you don't have to be like fresh to death. But
what about some Southpaw?
Oh fuck. Like everybody has a different taste, so somebody might be into that gold-lined South Pole jumpsuit that Justin has, whereas I personally am not attracted to it.
You were feeling it, come on.
Nah, I wasn't feeling it. Maybe if you wore that indoor scarf, but that's a whole thing. Just looking good, looking confident. Like, you don't have to have the most expensive clothes. You don't have to have the most expensive cologne. Like, that doesn't mean shit to me. You need to, put yourself out there as somebody who's confident in themselves. I think confidence is extremely attractive. Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and I think a lot of people don't really understand
yeah.
it. And also, it's weird, being a female, I tend to, or I guess you could call me more of a tomboy since, all the stuff that I'm into, that people kind of judge a book by its cover, and that's, not really fair. Like I said, you don't have to have the most expensive whatever, but you have to look nice, be confident in yourself. Don't treat girls like assholes. I mean, the girls that are going to like you if you treat them like shit isn't going to be the one that you want to be with.
Yeah, that's...
Because obviously they're emotionally damaged somehow. And,
yeah, that's a whole different video right there. We can talk about that for about 30 minutes.
You could bleep this out, but I hear it a lot. It's like, you don't want to stick your dick in crazy.
I never heard that before, but you've heard it here first.
Yeah, that's copyrighted.
It's copyrighted.
So, I take cash only. So, smell. To me, smelling nice is really attractive. You don't have to be wearing cologne. Obviously, deodorant is kind of a must. But,
clean.
Shower.
You want to be clean, yeah.
Yeah, be clean. Look clean. Don't
get your hair right a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of get right with yourself when you go out. Everybody has those days where they don't give a shit. And that's totally fine. But I mean, if you're interested in a relationship, I guess I would try to work on that. And also,
yeah, so it's like, you want to get the upkeep going. And a lot of guys are like, well, I'll just do it once a week. I was like, well, if you do it more often, you'll probably get a little bit luckier. It's like the harder you work, the luckier you'll get sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, there's a big thing for me is exuding happiness, like positivity. If I was out single or whatever, and I'm meeting a bunch of people, let's say I'm at a club or at Saran Wrap night.
Saran Wrap night.
That the person who's smiling, having a good time, is way more attractive to me than the guy who's sulking in the corner staring at everybody. Like, it's just, I want to be able to see happiness in somebody before I head over.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I saw this on, what was it, True Life or whatever on MTV? This guy was talking about how a lot of people want to eat at restaurants that are busy, so that are nice and happy, right? That's where they want to be. They don't want to be at the dark, gloomy restaurant where nobody's eating at. So they're just like, you got to put yourself out there, like, you're happy, like you said, like you're having a good time with your buddies. And we were on another call with, I think, Bathtub Girl, and he was saying, like, you got to get out with your friends, kind of pretend that or not pretend, but actually have a good time, and people are going to notice that. And then they'll want to be interested in that, want to come over, and maybe you can go over and make it easier for you to approach, different women.
Right, exactly.
All right, so we actually are going to go over on this, so... This is part 1, and we're gonna cut it right there because my technical editing skills are not very good. So we got to get this all right on the first try. So this will be part 1. We got 2 other. Actually, how many topics? No, we got 1, 2. We got 3 other topics. So stay tuned for part 3. And other than that, actually, we'll outro it on the second one. So just stay tuned for part 2. Excuse me, I said 3, huh?
Deuces.
Deuces.